I'm going to show you how to easily create Salesforce SOQL queries using Workbench. Using Workbench is a lot easier because it does most of the work for you. I already have a custom object called Job Applications, and I want to look at the job application name, candidate, and position. One of the problems with doing views like this is not every organization allows you to edit the production org, and I may have to look at production data. The other limitation of doing views like this is you can see the candidate name is just the name of that candidate, which is the auto-stamped number. Using SOQL, I can pull out a lot more information. But if you don't know how to build SOQL queries, it could be very difficult without using Workbench. The first thing you want to do is log into workbench.developerforce.com. Before you start with SOQL queries, make sure you go to the settings on Workbench and select Allows SOQL Parent Relationship Queries. Make sure you're on the right org by mousing over the organization name right here. To do a SOQL query, we're just going to go over to Queries and go down to SOQL Query. I'm going to go to the object and select Job Application. It's going to give me a list of all the fields that are available on the job application. In this case, I want to pick the ID. I'm going to hold down the Control button to select Other Fields, scroll down to Name, select Candidate, and Position. If I just selected Query at this moment, it will give me a list of all of the job applications with those field names. As you can see, this is not extremely useful because it gave me the record IDs for the candidate and the position. I want the real names for those. To get a list of all the fields for position, I can also use Workbench for that. I'm going to go to Info and go down to Standard Objects. I'm going to right-click on it because I want to open this up in a new tab rather than losing my initial query. When I get to Standard and Custom Objects, I want to look for the Position object, and this is going to give me a list of all the metadata information for that particular custom object. I want to select the fields, so I want to look up what the actual API name is of that field. In this case, it's name. Copy that to the clipboard. Go back to my SOQL query. I'm going to change the position __ C to R so it knows to look to a record, and paste in the name field. Now when I do my query, I get the actual names for that position. I also want to know what the candidate's first name and last name are rather than a record ID. So we go back to our standard and custom fields and we look for the candidate information. I want to look for the fields, and in this case I want to know the API names for the first and last name. So I grab that information, copy that to the clipboard. I'm going to go here to candidate, change this to an R so it knows to look to a record, and paste in that name. You now see I have now the first name. I also want the last name. I'm going to grab this information, copy that to the clipboard, paste it right afterwards, make sure it's comma separated, and change this to last. Now when I do my query, I have the candidate's first name, last name, and the position. So now I have all the information I want. Now let's use a filter. One important thing to know is that when I change any information on this top portion of Workbench, I will lose all the custom information that I just entered down here. So when I copy this, I'm going to paste that to Notepad. So this way I don't lose it. Now I want to do a filter for all the candidates that applied for a senior position. I can go to Filter Results By, select Position, Starts With, and then SR period. Now I know what the filter should look like. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this to the end of my SOQL query over here. One important thing to keep in mind is that this information down here in this box overrides anything that you have up here. So now when I do my query, you'll see I got an error here. I get this error because it's looking for actually position __ R dot name. So if I were to grab this information, copy that, and replace it here, now my query will work. I hope this information has been useful, and thank you for watching.